We are live. Okay, got some people joining us on Facebook, YouTube world. Here we go. I'll go to the this side.
You messed my hair up.
For good side. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry about choking you. Not really. It's all part of it. All right. So, hope everybody's doing well. I hope we answered some questions that you guys had last time. We're still working on some of the questions that were thrown out there. I think we might want to do an entire live standing, because just the way that we have our setup, it'd be easier for us to. It'd be too hard for us to meddle around with moving the cameras and everything. So I think what we'll do is do an actual live video where we're doing all standing techniques. So it could be takedowns for competition. I shouldn't say competition, just takedowns in general. Self-defense situation stuff that we do. Like we've got a wall here. It's not the tallest. Like it's perfectly fine for her. So we can. Sorry. You know what I meant. It's like a 5-foot wall. So you can do a lot of things. And I think having a wall is really, really super helpful. A padded wall to practice takedowns on, just like having a padded floor. When you think about self-defense and the spaces that we occupy on a daily basis, it's very high likelihood that you're going to run into a wall. So understanding how to utilize the wall in your favor and how to get away from situations on the wall is very, very critical to self-defense and just having a full rounded knowledge base for, if you're stuck in an elevator, you don't have a whole lot of room to maneuver. So there's a lot of stuff that we do against the wall that you don't see very much in a lot of, even in a lot of schools. A lot of schools really focus on competition only. And I think there's just a lot of stuff to learn and do. When you look at like let's take one aspect of competition that you see Jiu-Jitsu in, MMA. You see the walls actually. It's like the third fighter in the cage. Like it's a weapon that's utilized quite a bit, and the tactics are going to be different there necessarily than in self-defense, just because of a lot of factors. I mean, it's just MMA is just a different game now, and it's just that it's a sport. It's a sport now. So we've learned a lot of what we can learn from it. There's still things that we can learn from it. But most of what we learned, as far as in terms of what actually works in real combat, we kind of learned in the first few UFCs. So, but we'll do a whole video on that sometime.
And we did put a video out. Somebody last week had asked about the headlock defense.
Oh yeah, we did do. We did, yes. Somebody did ask about some headlock defenses. We didn't put out a video on the standing stuff. There's a lot of things actually against the wall. There's some headlock defenses that. If you get stuck in a headlock and you end up against the wall, how to deal with that. It's very similar to the floor, but it's different. And then what to do if you get tangled in a headlock from the standing position. So there's a lot there. We did do a fairly comprehensive, probably 8 or 9 minute video on our. That's available to everybody on our YouTube channel. Where we went over being stuck on the bottom in a headlock and how to deal with that. So check that out. I think that was our latest video. And if you guys have any questions at all, kind of throw them out there to us. So let's see. All right. Hello, Jeffrey. Good to see you. Andrew Robbins, I still need to hear your breech birth escape story.
It wasn't nearly as exciting as Ernie's.
Okay, so we have to explain this. This is like there's so many names in the jiu-jitsu world. And I can't even remember the video, the competition that we just competed in not too long ago. It was Ernie, right?
Yeah.
It was Ernie who escaped out. Most people call it the backdoor escape from the mount, but Ernie's renamed it the breech birth. So we kind of have to stick with that. It's legs first, out from the mount. It's not a move, and it's one that actually she started to become very fond of. She's smaller, she kind of fits in smaller spaces.
Legs are long.
My legs are long, so but she did get stuck in the mounted triangle yesterday. Was it yesterday we got stuck there? Let's turn this way a little bit. She got stuck in the mounted triangle because she left an arm behind. So if you do the breech birth, you're gonna have to make sure, number one, you gotta bury yourself underneath. And if you can get to your side, you gotta try to get to your side if you can. And if there's space, a lot of times people will utilize this escape when you're modifying, you're trying to do, and there's space here. So their arms can go underneath like this. Now, we haven't really worked on this at all, but she's been making it work anyway, just by just natural instinct. Let's turn this way so they can kind of see what's going on. Okay, so when you get your arms underneath, the arms are not enough to bridge the person off. So you can bridge, or you can leave one foot on the floor and you can use the top leg to bump. So bridge off this leg. Okay, so bring this leg up close. Now bridge here and lift this leg off the floor here. So knee bump, yes, good. Now she can use her heels to kind of dig her hips down that direction and slide out. So that's sort of the basic of the movement. It's not a I wouldn't say it's a go-to escape, but if you find yourself stuck with your arms down on your side, like that may be all you have available, so it might be the right thing to do. And sometimes it may take a couple bumps to make space to be able to slide out from underneath. But it worked for her. Now, the last time she ended up getting caught in the mounted triangle, and maybe if we have some time we'll cover that. But another variation of that is it's the modified mount escape, where it actually makes sense to kind of shoot your arm underneath. It's a moment of opportunity. It's not one that I go for very often. I have a very, very protected, very basic way of dealing with modified mount. And let's explain what modified mount is to everybody if they don't use the same terminology that we do. Okay, so a lot of times when you turn to your side, and you're trying to do a bridge or an elbow escape, a lot of times the person on top will go to this position in order to stop that. Okay, so let's start from the beginning here. Let's say I'm doing a really good job. I'm dragging this leg, and she goes to what we call the modified mount. Now it's almost kind of halfway to the back, and you can get into a lot of trouble if this arm is kind of hung out on the top. All right, and she can attack my neck. She can attack my arm. She can take my back. There's all sorts of things that can happen here. So this is no good. So when I start to make this transition and I start to notice that she starts to change, I need to make sure, number one, I'm not leaving this arm hanging out. If it is, I need to move myself back and bring this arm back down, because it's all bad stuff can happen after this fact. Okay, so once we start noticing that they go to modified mount, I'm going to take this arm underneath. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot this underneath the leg. I'm going to bridge with my bottom leg. Okay, I'm going to bridge with the bottom leg. This arm is going to chop here. This has to happen fairly quickly and in motion. All right, if you let them settle, you're going to get hosed here. So I'm going to shoot this arm through. Okay, I'm going to knee bump high like this up against her thigh. Okay, and I'm pushing off my bottom foot here. I bridge, I come up to my knees, and I pull myself out. And now I can drag this leg behind me, jump on her back. Most of the time, they're going to turn to face you right away, and then you can smash that leg down and kind of pass around. I'll let you have your good side back. All right? So that's yeah. All right. Okay, let's see here. Anybody's got any? Hello, Rogification. Greetings from Montana. What kind of recovery do you supplement with your BJJ? Hot yoga, stretching, nutrition, etc. Well, as far as recovery right now, Jiu-Jitsu has kind of been my recovery. If I have time, like yoga is amazing. And when I was in, I haven't really been pressing it very hard during this whole lockdown that much, just because of the thing. But this has actually been, training with her and training with my son has been really beneficial. Should we shut that off? Sorry, the heater's going to kick on. It's kind of loud. So training, I've been trying to do a lot of strength training, with my wife, at least a couple times a week. I mean, we've actually been fairly busy. I mean, as you can imagine, having 8 kids alone is busy enough, but we've been keeping ourselves fairly busy. I mean, we've been getting good rest. Like, that's important. Like, getting good rest, I think, is, allotting yourself the right amount of time to sleep, I think, is probably, as I age, the most important factor. I know there's so many people out there that have really good things that they do to recover, but you know, as far as like weight training and things, like for me, training with them has actually been recovery from that, you know, so helps get my muscles loose and kind of, it just feels good. I have a good feeling. Every time we come out here, you know, like our goal was like every day, and it hasn't happened every day, but when we do train, I always, do you feel better?
Always.
I feel great afterwards. So, but as far as training hard, you know, it's been a while since I've been in that sort of like competition train hard mode. So I've really, you know, I've really tried not to beat my body up too much and just spread out my training. Now that's easy. Well, it was easy for somebody who had an academy who could teach. You know, I was teaching multiple times a day, so I could get 5 minutes here in a private. I could get 10 minutes here in a class, half hour at nighttime training with the students. So spreading it out helped me a lot. But those times where I was competing a lot, when I was in Brazil, I spent almost a month in Brazil, and I'll tell you, one of the best things for me was, and I know not everybody has access to it, but a sauna, a hot sauna. Like we would train hard twice a day. Like every day, you got up, you ate breakfast, relaxed a little bit, drank some coffee, you go train like at, you know, noontime or a little bit after. Then you'd have lunch. I can't remember actually. The training might have been at 11 o'clock. Train for a couple hours. We do some technique, but leading up to a competition, you're training a lot. So we would have, you know, 4, 5, 10-minute rounds, then go, and it was, you know, hard training. I mean, these guys were tough as nails. I mean, the world champions we're training with. And so go, eat lunch, have some acai, whatever, maybe take a nap, come back, and train again, same way, like early evening, then go have a sauna, then go have dinner. And I tell you, a hot sauna was just, it felt incredible. After being like, especially in Brazil when it's nice, it was hot. It was winter for them, but it was still hot for you know, a kid from Ohio. And a sauna, I think, for me, felt amazing. Now, I've since learned, like, I did, the first time I ever did an ice bath was at some Jiu-Jitsu Lifestyle Summit that Huron puts on, here on Gracie. I had an amazing time at that. I've still got a video. I've got a bunch of stuff to put together to share a video of my experience out there. But we did an ice bath. And when they first said, yeah, we're going to do an ice bath, I'm like, you guys are nuts. Like, that's crazy. You know, I've seen the whole Wim Hof thing, and I had friends who did like the cold showers and all that stuff. And I listened to podcasts with, you know, Dr. Rhonda Patrick on Joe Rogan and everything. And I understood the benefits of it. I'm like, that's just nuts. I'm not doing that. Like, that's crazy. And I did it mainly, I mean, I'll be honest, I mean, a lot of it was out of peer pressure. Because, like, you know, I was joking around with her. I'm like, if it were a bunch of, like, CrossFitters, like, saying, hey, let's go do this ice bath. I'm like, yeah, have fun, guys. Enjoy that, right? And never, no way. But, you know, Huron's gonna do it. I gotta do it too. You know, like, all right, here we go. Let's do this thing. But the breathing methods, we spent a good half hour, which is not enough. Like, you know, and the instructor even said, like, this is not as much time as we'd like, but the instructor was phenomenal. Aaron Sundstrom, great guy, and he went through the breathing exercises, and I'm telling you, just the breathing exercises alone was like, wow, this is kind of weird. Like, I feel I felt good, but it was kind of goofy. And then when you do the breathing exercises, then you get in the ice water. I mean, I'm talking like it's full of ice, but just enough water so where you can actually sit in it, and it's touching your skin. And it was like, at first it was boom. But as soon as I caught my breath, like the second or third breath, when I caught my breath and kind of went into it, man, it was an incredible experience. Like, I realized, like, okay, I can do this. And it was crazy. It was intense, but when I got out, and I think I called her later that day, and I'm like, I don't feel any pain, like nothing. And I don't know all the science behind it or whatever, but and there's got to be something to both of those things. You know, ice immersion, because I know people who do it quite often, and it's, you know, they get a lot of benefits out of it. Not just physical, but I think even like, I don't know, I think a lot of people even say emotional benefits out of it. I don't know. I don't know the science behind it, but I'll say this. I did not feel my aches and pains, I mean, nothing, for a good solid, 8 hours, close to a day, before I was like, I can feel my elbow a little bit more. You know, I've got some aches and pains that just from, 25 years of grappling. I mean, you're gonna gain those injuries over time. But that I felt was pretty incredible. So I don't know. It's worth a try. I would say definitely no thanks. Yeah. We haven't conjured into it yet, but we actually had one at our school. We did a seminar with the breathing for BJJ guys, and it was great. Like that was a 2-hour long seminar. If you get a chance to go to one of those, I highly recommend it. You'll learn a lot of really good breathing techniques. And breath is life, man. And when you're dealing with somebody who's bigger and heavier and they're on top of you in side control, the most important thing for you to be able to do is breathe. You may not be able to force your way out. You don't want to force your way out. You want to survive and then wait on the opportunity to escape. And having your breath and being able to go into that space and have a good full breath and oxygenate your body, it will help calm you down and allow you to be in the moment and make better decisions. When you start losing your breath, you're going to panic. In panic, you're going to start breathing in shorter breaths, and it's going to be a downhill. It's bad. It's not good. So breath is life. All right. So let's see. Yeah, you were afraid I was going to mention the ice bath. I'm telling you, it's pretty awesome. You should definitely try it. It's highly recommended. She won't try it yet, but someday I'll get it to her. Marty Josie, that's right. I forgot to mention Marty Josie. Yes, breathing for BJJ. Thank you, Allison.
I don't even like when the shower starts to run out of hot water.
No, I don't either. It's either all in or all out, right? And it's 2 minutes, right? I don't want to, sit in there and sing a song while I'm washing my hair, but you'll be in the moment. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. It's pretty cool. But and those things, I don't think they're all new either. I mean, these types of things. I was talking to a friend. I'm brain dead now. Steve Maxwell is an extremely well-respected guy in not just in jiu-jitsu, but even more so in the health and fitness community. And he's like, man, train with these Russians. These Russian guys have been doing this. They dip their babies in holes in the ice. It's like, do it all the time. So it's not that it's anything new. It's been around for a long time. I think especially combining the breathing techniques with the ice bath and things like that. I think that what was his name again? Sorry, I keep forgetting everybody's names. The Iceman. You guys know what I'm talking about.
With that one.
Whatever. You guys know I mentioned his name before. Wim Hof. Wim Hof, I think, has brought it to the forefront. And so a lot of people, BJJ people are health nuts for the most part anyway. So they see something that's going to have a benefit for longevity or whatever, they're gonna jump all over it. So give it a try. All right. Okay. Hello from Brazil, Carlos. Thanks for joining us. I wish I had my son here. He's studying Portuguese. Maybe he could interpret for us. So, anybody have any questions out there? Do you have any questions?
None that I can think of.
Nothing you can think of. Nothing we covered today. We already covered the breech birth. We got about 10 minutes. And if you came in late on that, you have to watch the beginning part of the video here. Let's see. Well, let's show them kind of how you got caught in the mounted triangle. How about that? Let's do that.
Okay.
Since it's your favorite position.
Yes.
I'll demonstrate it, and then I'll have you can do it to me, okay? Because I've went over this with you before, okay? All right. So, and there's some caveats. So somebody with long legs like myself are going to be able to do these things a little bit differently than somebody who has shorter legs, and maybe dealing with somebody who's much larger. Now, I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but I'm much larger than she is, okay? And so the way that she's gonna do a mounted triangle is gonna be a little bit different. Now, how she got stuck was just she had one arm underneath like this, and I saw her eyeballing trying to get the way out, so I picked the elbow up. So very simply, all I have to do at this point is pick her head up, okay? I slide my knee up so that this elbow's stuck inside. Now, I hold the head, I'm gonna lean to the side, I'm gonna swing the leg, and I make that connection against her neck. Now I'm gonna switch. So I went from here to here. So the head's already up, I don't need to hold that anymore. Let's turn this way, okay? If I need to take some more space out, okay, to get closer to her neck, I'm gonna do this with my foot. I'm gonna toe heel. Sorry, you good? All right, now to take the space away here, to get especially when they try to keep this elbow back, I'm gonna start doing this. I'm gonna move my foot and push the arm across with my hips. I lean, I pick the leg up, I'm gonna figure 4, and I'm gonna sit back down. How you doing? You okay? Mm-hmm. Good. I'm trying to keep my weight here.
I'm good.
You're good, okay. So, I'm trying to keep my weight on my knee so I don't choke Mandy out, all right? But this part is very important, all right? I'm gonna come back to this in a second, but the most common attack here for me, at least, is to go here. I like to grab the wrist, palm out, okay? Here's the reason. If I go thumb up, this is true for any arm lock in the triangle. Not any arm lock, but for the most part, when you just try to extend the arm in the triangle, you don't want it to be standard with the thumb up. You want the palm out, okay? If I go thumb up, bend your elbow out, yes. That helps open up her neck, but also stops the arm lock. When I turn the palm up, now turn your elbow up, right? She's not able to. And now I'm just gonna push my hips forward here, okay? Just like this, all right? The other option is just to hook here like this, hold the elbow in with the outside hand, and do the same thing, extend your hips here. Okay, so that's my go-to personally for the finish, for the arm lock finish in that position. What's important here to note is that when you make this figure 4 and you're mounted, okay, it's important to make sure that you are locked on to this part of your leg. You need to be locked onto your shin. If you're locked onto just your foot, okay, your knee keeps the leg up. And somebody who's bigger and heavier, if they bridge, they're gonna break your ankle, okay? So that's important. If you cannot make that figure 4, you wanna go here like this, okay? You can still get the arm lock, and you can still do all those things. Do you wanna try it to me? Okay, so, actually, hold on. I'm gonna show you my favorite way of getting to the mounted triangle, all right? A lot of folks, okay, I need to be underneath an elbow, okay? Now, if I do this and I slide this up, this is ideal. If I can get the arm kind of stuck up here and out like this. This is ideal, but it's not always accessible, okay? Now, a lot of folks will like to pin this arm out here like this. Some people will like to step on it and then pull here, and some people like to come here, throw the leg all the way over top and switch the hand position. For me, I like to get myself up high enough so I can use my elbow here. I want to make sure that I don't lose her elbow and she can't escape via breech birth, okay? I'm gonna hook underneath the head. It's a common theme, how to shut down the breech birth. So I'm gonna take this hand, I'm gonna gable grip, I'm gonna pin her arm to the floor, to her chest. Now I lean, I'm gonna pass the leg, and now I start making this process. And as I'm doing that, I'm able to use my hip pressure to push the arm, it's gonna come out, okay? And then we can adjust from there, all right? So, you think you can do that one?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe? Okay, I'll walk you through it. Okay, so we get up high enough here. She's got her elbows down like this here, and then it's hard for you guys to see. She's gonna hook inside my head. Now make a gable grip. Now pin my wrist to my chest. Yes, just like that. Now lean this way a little bit. Now throw your leg over top my shoulder. Good, now grab it with your left hand. Good, your shin, now catch your base. Now take that space away, that's it, toe heel, toe heel. If the arm's stuck out here, she's gonna be able to arm lock easier, but if it's inside, this is the situation. So now start walking your hips around to this side. Use your hips to push my arm across, that's it, keep walking the leg, good. Now, if you can make the figure 4, make the figure 4. Can you? Without hurting your foot?
You got it? Now, Mandy's going to be able to choke me here because I'm a bigger guy inside. No, I'm good. I'm good. My eyes went purple the other day when she was practicing this. Now, one thing you can do, I'm going to walk you through this to help finish the choke, to finish the squeeze. Lock it up for me. Now, you're going to twist your body, reach back with your right hand, try to grab inside my leg.
Here?
And just twist. Yes, just squeeze. Now squeeze. Yeah, that's it. Good. Okay, now, if you can't make the figure four, let's turn this way. Okay, so take the figure four off.
Mm-hmm.
You do? Mm-hmm. Okay, is your foot underneath next to your knee?
It's in front of it.
Perfect. Okay, now, scoop my arm up, grab your collar. Good. Now, lean this direction. Now, pass the leg over my head.
This one?
Yep, that's it. Now drop your hips. Yes, that way. There you go. Okay, so you can still use the position, even if you can't make the figure four. If you're dealing with somebody much bigger and heavier than you, you can still use the position to isolate an arm. Okay, so it's just another way of finishing an arm lock at that point. So, yeah, hope that helps. Now that my shoulder's all nice and sore. We're switching back and forth.
Yeah.
We should eventually get some monitors here.
Allison wants to know, you always keep the connection with your hand on your shin.
Not always. Well, yeah, yes and no. Okay, I do until I get this secure, or I get to the point where I'm ready to switch and go for an arm lock. I think I understood what her question was, but yes. Once I switch from the head, I pass this over here like this, and I switch. I'll keep this all the way until I get that locked up, okay? And if I decide that I can't make that figure four in a safe way with my foot, now I'm gonna switch. Now I don't need to hold it anymore. Now I'm gonna switch and I can bring the leg over the head, drop the hips in.
And
So I hope that makes sense.
Keith wants to know, can you show a couple high percentage ways to get out of / escape modified mount?
Okay.
If you have time.
Yes, Keith. So we just went over one. If you're just tuning in, we just went over one maybe 10 minutes ago. Maybe not that long.
Towards the beginning.
Yeah, towards the beginning. So rewind, go back and watch that one. It's not as high percentage as the one that I prefer. The one that I prefer is a lot more,
Is that the one we did the video on?
I believe so. Do we have a video on this one?
I think so.
I think we have a video on this one. I think. Okay. Yes. So when they get to this point, the most important thing here is not leaving this arm hang out and not getting choked. Okay. So those are the two most common attacks. Is she's going to reach underneath and feed the collar. Wrap your left hand around my neck. Here. She's going to feed the collar here. Now I'm stuck in the collar choke. Here. Straighten up. Yeah. Good. Or if I defend that, she switches and then brings the hand over here, passes the leg over the head, and she has the arm lock, okay? Third most common thing would be taking my back. So I want to shut down all of those things. And if I get here like this, even if I'm balled up, come underneath and wrap everything up, get a seatbelt position, okay? Yes, so now she can drive into me, she can fold her leg in, and she can pull me back to take my back. She can pull me back here, and now I'm defending my back now. No problems. Okay, so those are the three most common things I need to defend when I go to the modified mount. Okay, so if I'm here like this and I turn it, as soon as I notice that's happening, I need to push this up and sneak the arm through. And now what I'm going to do, where most people mess up is that this feels like, it feels like I'm okay, but I'm really not, because there's space here for her to still wrap and still dig and give me problems. Okay, even if it's just to pin an arm down or feed this arm around and get an arm wrap. So I want to shut down all of that, okay? And I still want to escape. So you see how my head can't quite reach the floor when I'm directly on my side. I pull my shoulder underneath of me. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that too abruptly. And I ball up like this. So both my legs are going to come up nice and tight, okay? Now, I have buried my elbow underneath of her leg. Dig my arm free. There's no space, and it's stuck against her leg. Now, come underneath my neck. Attack my neck. There's not enough space here, okay? It's very difficult. And when it does come through, it's meeting my hand. So now I'm going to grab here on the pants, or I lift up enough to where I can get my hand on her heel. I prefer the pants, and I use my elbows. I use my elbows they draw a line. I shrimp crawl, shrimp crawl, shrimp crawl. I bring the top leg in, I move, and I lift this leg up. Now I can turn, dig underneath, and now we can try to pass the guard. So the trick there is to make sure that your elbows stay here, nice and tight to your legs as you draw and make the space. Okay? Once your top leg can come in, you move your hips out and you lift. Most of the time they're going to try to step out, and when they do, you just hold onto the pants and follow them up, right? So
I think with somebody smaller too, that one I struggled with for a while, but you really, like, the more I focused on bringing my knees to my elbows, like really kind of balling up tighter than I thought I had to.
yeah,
Does that
yeah.
make
At first, yes, it does, because at first you feel like you're just on your side, you should be okay, but they have more space to dig through. And if you put your elbows on your thighs, it's and underneath their leg, more importantly, it's very difficult for them to pry your arm free. So when we get here with Mandy, when she gets to her side, and I go here like this, and the way she balls up now, this is very hard. Like, at this point, I feel like I've lost the position already, okay? Because she's very protected here. I can maybe dig, but I don't have enough time to dig. As she starts to move and move and move, so most of the time I'm gonna abandon this position before she gets to that point. If I hold on too long, she's gonna escape. So the more you're balled up, the better there, okay? So you have to commit. Either you go back to the regular mount and give up and just go back flat to your back, or if you're gonna stay on your side, you have to be able to protect those three things, your neck, your arm, and your back, okay? So that's my favorite, that's my go-to if I'm in that position. But many times if the arm is already in danger, I'm gonna move my body away and go back flat. And a lot of times they'll just come right back down to the standard mount, and then I'll have an opportunity to trap and roll or do something else. All right. Okay. Let's see here. Good. I hope that helped. I think that was Keith's question, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, Keith. Appreciate it. All right. How we doing on time here?
We're
Oh,
at
wow.
6:32.
Man, time flies. Holy smokes. Well, we don't want to go too long. If you guys have any other questions, throw them out there before I'm done with my 10-minute, ending statement or whatever. I like to talk, as you can tell. So I like to limit myself to a certain amount of time so I can make sure that people come back, that they don't just hear me, preaching.
Any tips or tricks to securing a near side arm lock? For example, off a stack pass or side control. Having a hard time maintaining pressure. Does that make sense?
Hello. All right, sorry. Let me read John's question again. To securing a near side arm lock, for example, off a stack pass or side control, can't seem to manipulate to maintain pressure. So I think I understand the question. And if you guys have anything specific, if I don't fully understand, if it's sometimes it's difficult to get a specific question across, feel free to upload your own video and send us a link to it so we can watch it. You can make it private or whatever if you have a YouTube account, which you do. So if there's something specific that you have a question for that you would like us to answer, please feel free to throw that in there. I will show you one that I like a lot. We were actually going over this the other day, the arm lock off the stack pass. Do you want to do that?
Sure.
Okay. So I feel better about her doing it because did you just learn it? Was that the first time going over it?
Maybe the second.
Maybe second. Okay, good. So she's got it mastered now. So this is one that I like a lot. And so we were going over this the other day. So if she's got a hold of the collar here like this, and she starts to press, she starts to stack, and I start to frame it. Let's turn this way so they can see. Okay? And I start to frame against the hip. So what I want to do at this point is I've realized it's too late, so I'm going to try to regard. So I'll show you what I'm trying to do first. Okay? So I'm trying to frame, I extend the leg, I move my body, and then I'm going to regard. Okay? That's my move. Okay? Now, the thing is that I'm extending the arm. I'm giving her my arm at this moment. Okay? And so if I don't replace and get my legs involved in the game, my arm's exposed, okay? So she starts to stack me up. I'm extending here. She's gonna deflect the arm by shooting the shin, her right knee right under my armpit. You see how it slips off? Now this leg's gonna pass over the head. And she's gonna sit down. Now right now she has it super tight to her hip. So she just squeezes her elbow to her hip, bring your body more this, yes, right there. And now all she has to do is squeeze her knees, and that's pretty much it. She doesn't have to lean back very much. So what we call the arm tuck arm lock. And this is extremely difficult to defend, okay? If I'm not able to do this, it's hard to defend this position. Now, if it slips out past her arm lock, or sorry, past her armpit, she just grabs the wrist. So if it slips and you don't catch it here, you just grab 1, 2. You have to get wrist control right away, okay? So now that she has me here, I can still make the hitchhiker move work, but if she has good wrist control, she turns my thumb the opposite direction. So if I start to roll, I'm gonna arm lock myself, okay? So wrist control is absolutely critical in this one, okay? So making sure that you wrap the wrist, palms together, hand over hand, wrap the thumb, boom. Nice and tight and good control, okay? So give that a try. See how it likes?
See how it likes?
See how it likes. See how you like. Yes. Carlos, thanks for joining us. Yes. He says, I don't speak English, but watching it, I learn a lot. Well, thank you. Apparently, I don't speak English very well either. So I appreciate you joining us, and hope that helps. But I like that arm lock a lot. You can, I think we showed enough of the details. You can go back, but it's almost like sliding into home. You kind of you're pressure, you shoot the hips in and then pass the leg over. And eventually it's going to be one fluid motion. You think you can do it in one fluid motion? I think you can. Let's do it.
You have too much faith in me.
Not at all. You practiced it like 5 times the other day. So you stack, give me the pressure, good. I'll shoot the hips, pass, very good. Excellent. Good. So that one I like a lot. That's one of my favorite arm locks to catch because you don't have to fight the arm out. Like the arm locks where you have to really fight them out, like they're not as fun. Like if you catch an arm lock where it's already extended and they made the mistake, even the guy who's getting an arm lock has to smile a little bit. Like, dang, because the timing was perfect. And that's one of the beautiful things about Jiu-Jitsu. It's, I think when you listen to Grandmaster Elio's, one of his analogies was like, about the mousetrap. Like you don't chase, Jiu-Jitsu is the mousetrap. You don't chase the mouse with the cheese, or with the trap, you set the cheese. And that's a great analogy, and that's really kind of like when you're able to catch those moves like that, where you set it up to the point where they didn't realize they were exposed and you were able to capture that moment. That's really, man, if you get to the point where you can capture something like that, it doesn't even have to be a submission. It could be a sweep. If you hit it perfectly and it was effortless and it was just there, like that's the drug that will keep you coming back to Jiu-Jitsu forever. So hope that helps. My pleasure, John. Okay, I think that's good. I think we're going to end it there. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, anything specific or whatever. I mean, doesn't have to be specifically Jiu-Jitsu on the mat related. Jiu-Jitsu can apply to a lot of things in our lives. So anything at all, throw it out there.
We'll be back on Thursday.
Yeah, share the video, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah. Have to do this at least once. That's for Allison. And we'll see you soon. We'll see you Thursday at 6 o'clock. And Saturday.